Mr. Smith.
Yeah. What's up? What's good? What is happening? Welcome to the King M.E show. I'm one half of this thing, King.
Hey y'all, it's me, Michelle. How y'all doing?
We are live Monday. What is this? Let's look at our calendar. August the 19th.
Woo!
Somebody's getting ready to start back up the school year here, but we ain't gonna talk about that today.
We're not gonna talk about that today, because then if we talk about that, I gotta really hone in on the fact that it's time for me to really go back to work, not just the teacher time, but teacher and student time.
No doubt. So who are we? We here at the King M.E offer a real outlook on a healthy relationship. Real being relatable,
entertaining,
accountable,
and loving.
Now, we got a little bit of a change up for today.
Mm-hmm.
Our videos have been going viral.
Oh my gosh. Oh, they've been going so viral.
Mama, we made it.
We made it.
Now, the reason why they're going viral isn't necessarily something that I would have expected. But we got a couple of videos that got the people a talking. And one of them were two lives ago.
Yeah, 2 lives ago.
I want to say about 2 lives ago, where we were in the middle of talking about one subject. And I changed the subject and I asked Michelle a question.
Time out, flag on the play. We were talking about one complete entity of a topic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you abruptly pulled the rug out from underneath of that topic and started talking about something else.
I did.
So I was caught off guard. I'm sitting here wait, what? What just happened? What happened? And then I couldn't help but laugh and smile. And at the end of it, my first question was to say, wait a minute. I thought I was the one who had ADHD, but that was definitely a squirrel moment. And the video just cut off like that. So social media is going in.
Yes, they are.
On me.
On her specifically.
On me. And I'm just oh, I hate it when people don't read everything or pay attention to everything.
So let's watch the video and then check out some of the comments and come back and talk about it just for a little bit. I want y'all to take a gander at what was being said.
All right, back.
Bad spatial awareness. When we were at the mall the other day, there was this couple, and the lady was sitting in the walking aisle or whatnot. Mm-hmm. And her husband, who if me and this dude would have got to scrapping, it would have been an interesting physical altercation. But as I was walking past his lady, he politely said to her, "Hey, babe, step out," or step back or whatnot. And then I look at him and I acknowledge "Hey, bro, thank you," right? Because she saw me walking and was still just right there because she was focused on something or whatnot. And guys are the ones that they have that space. I'm pretty sure that you've seen all the times where guys have yanked their ladies and moved them back over.
Babe, who has ADHD? Which one of us?
Why do ladies have bad spatial awareness? So y'all can hear us, but you can't see us. That's the video. That was the video. Now let's take a look at some of the comments while it's still full screen.
Oh my gosh, yes, please.
So this is on TikTok. It's got 88,000 views. Dondra Smith said, y'all about to start a war.
Mm-hmm.
This person, Ant, said, for somebody that's barely 5 feet tall, I would expect my lady to navigate better. But nope. She will hit every corner, display, stand, or person sometimes if I'm not holding her hand. And I read that and was like, yo, the display stand took me out.
Mm-hmm.
This person, the great spot, said, horrible awareness. My girl almost got me stabbed outside of a Pizza Hut when some MF was about to rob me. She gonna keep my door to the car locked when I'm trying to get my weapon to defend myself.
Oh, Lord.
And I was like, yikes. I'm glad that you could tell that story. And there were several comments that were very similar. This one says it's because they've never gotten into a fight before, so they don't give a crap about others. This one says, and then sometimes your girl get mad at you for moving her out of other people's way. Mm-hmm. And it was overwhelmingly men.
Overwhelmingly. It was probably like 3 women, and I was one of the 3.
And you were one of the 3. But the other 2 women, so the women that commented in, I won't be able to find them now, but one of the women were like, they said something like to the effect of, well, when we get around men that we trust, that, you know, keep our peace, we turn our brains off.
And so I commented, well, I said that to you. I was like, if you look at all the men who have commented, the men are commented saying, my woman, my lady, my mom, my sister. And it did lead me to that same belief that when a woman feels comfortable, she knows that the man is going to take care of her. So she does kind of fall back and let him do, you know, his manly things. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but I'm saying that that is kind of the consensus that I gathered from everything that the men had said.
Mm-hmm. And we'll read this last comment here. Thomas Allen said, my girl will be in the middle of the aisle talking to me, and I'm like, babe, move this way. Watch out, babe. It's like a full-time job. So we thought that was hilarious. We wanted to give some spotlight to the people that take the time to check us out on our other platforms as well. Because look, we're live on multiple platforms right now.
Multiple platforms.
We're on Twitch. We're back on X now that we have X Premium over on X. We're on Facebook and YouTube. And on Facebook specifically, we're also streaming on Perry Productions. He is a videographer that is doing this thing based out of Atlanta. So if you would like to ensure that you got the best, most fire production on any place that you go to, be sure to check him out as well and book his services. Now, let's get our question out of the way on Let's Get Deep before we get into the main topic here.
All right, we're just going to do one today. I'm going to go with the deep.
All right.
And unfortunately, I picked something less than desirable. What's the most romantic song you know?
The most romantic song I know? The most romantic song. See, I'm not like a romance guy.
I know. That's why I was just like,
give me yours and give me some time to think about it.
You ready?
Yes.
I'll make love to you like you want me to, and I'll hold you close, baby, all through the night. I'll make love to you.
What's y'all's romantic song? I think I would go with Tyrese, Sweet Lady. Hey, would you be my sweet love for a lifetime? I'll be there when you need me. Just someone you see me.
Stop. I can't laugh.
My sweet lady. Ooh, ooh.
What was he doing what was that? The Olympics where he came out looking like a fake Marvin Gaye? What was that? What was going on?
Oh, yeah. Tyrese has been in the news lately. Yes.
Looking like a fake Marvin Gaye.
I guess he did an opening something or someplace dressed like Marvin Gaye or something. People said the singing was great, but the look was off.
It's weird.
And then lately he was at the Breakfast Club trying to get in, but I guess he's been banned from there. So he goes and he posts himself at the iHeartRadio studio trying to get in.
Stop.
I think Tyrese is a talented singer, and y'all don't hate me for this, I like him as an actor.
I don't know who you are right now.
I think Tyrese
I don't know who you are
is
right now.
dope as an actor.
What was it, Baby Boy that sold you?
No, Transformers is what sold me.
Oh, yeah.
And I like his character Rome in Fast and Furious.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you those 2 series, but outside of that, I will not acknowledge your statement right now, sir.
Oh.
I will not.
Man, what y'all think? I think Michelle might be a hater.
I probably am, and you know what? I'll take it.
All right. Ooh, we got some new faces in the building.
Well, no, Nat, she's been here before.
Nat's been here before?
Yeah, Nat's been here before.
Hey, welcome back, Nat. Well, you assume that is that a is
yeah, because that's how I remember. Last time she came in, we
kept
saying we didn't question. Know. Yeah.
Okay.
And she said she.
See, this is why she compliments me well, because I be forgetting. What up, Nat? I appreciate you popping in and said, yay, congrats. Hey, we doing big things over here. Did you see the new intro? I made it over the weekend.
Look, that intro was fire, okay? It was straight fire.
It was great going through some of our old pictures and photos.
Because I take 5 million pictures of everything.
But even better than that, you capture them and you save them. And they're organized in a way that just made it easy to look through the last 2 years of us knowing each other. It'll be 2 years coming up here real soon.
It is 2 years that we've known each other and been taking pictures.
Yeah.
It is.
And people always crack the joke and say that we're always jet setting off somewhere or going some places. We do. But not like in the scope that folks make it seem like we be getting our passport stamped every 2 weeks.
Look, so we had our church anniversary last week Sunday, not yesterday, but last week Sunday, right? And one of my sorors, she and I, we don't go to the same church. We're just friends on social media. I mean, yes, we work for the same company, but we don't work at the same school or anything like that. She was visiting our church last week for the church anniversary. You know the first thing she said when she saw me come in there? She was like, oh, you here. You're not ripping and running. I'm like, you don't even go to this church. You saying that? Because I had already gotten that comment from so many people at the church that, oh, I didn't know you were going to be here. You just always out and about, running, ripping and running and everything. And you know how older folks say things. And I'm not calling them old, but I'm just saying like over 40, we all say the same thing the same way. You just out here ripping and running these streets. That's not something that like under 20 would say or something like that. You know what I mean? So I found it so hilarious. I was like, man, we really do be out in these streets, or people think we be out in these streets all the time.
Yeah. But it was great to see that, go back through some of the memories. One of the reasons why I like taking photos and I like posting it on social media is my memory's not the best.
Same.
So to be able to go back and take a look at those photos and videos and just recall like how good of a day it was, spending it with good company. Our daughter was with us on a lot of those too, actually. I didn't include her on the intro because of her age and everything, but I wanted to because she was in some of the really good photos and videos that I liked.
So the one thing I will say is I remember telling a close friend of mine several years ago, because we would go out, the three of us go out as like sisters and friends, and I would always pull out my phone to take pictures. Always, always, always. And they got so frustrated. But I'm like, I need you to know, one of my many occupations, I had an opportunity to teach CNAs, certified nursing assistants, about Alzheimer's disease and dementia in general. And, you know, I did mental health first aid. So I spent a lot of time talking about the different types of dementia, specifically Alzheimer's. And I said to my friends, our memory will fade one day. Our memories will just not be what they used to be, whether we have dementia or not. It won't be what it used to be. And all we will have are the pictures that we take today, because we may not be able to remember everything. So all we're going to have when everything is said and done are these pictures. So let's live it up. Let's take these pictures everywhere. So I'm a big proponent on that. And then when I got this iPhone, it don't have that much space. So I got to put everything in the cloud. Like I have to create some kind of space for all these pictures to go. So yes, it is like super duper organized.
Nat asked a question on Twitch, said, do we ever do physical photos or photo albums ever? Well, I can't speak for her, but something that we do and that she's done is we have this calendar right here. And each month on the calendar is a photo of us that corresponds to the prior year. This is our first calendar, right?
Yeah.
So this is our first calendar that Michelle has done. And every first Monday of the month, we'll flip it. So I don't think I've gotten a preview, but I don't know all of the photos. So I don't know each month. So it's a surprise to me every time we flip it what photo is going to be used. But it is something that we would have done September of the prior year. Outside of that, I don't do physical photos or anything like that. What about you?
I do. So I have around my room, I have a like a rope that goes around and it has pictures attached to it. It has pictures from that I took the year before. So I updated like in the December of a year with all the pictures from that year. Lately I've been kind of lazy, so it gets updated in the January. But I'll order with freeprints.com, you get 85 free pictures a month, and all you have to do is pay for shipping and handling. So I will order 85 pictures printed from that current year, and then I'll put it up around my wall. So there's one for like my mom, and then something with my dad or something like that, and then a friend picture, and then, you know, pictures of you. And I had pictures of Castle up this year, and, you know, just had it all around my room. I do this for you, and then I do a full calendar, so it has multiple pictures and just small dates for my mom, because it's not so much for the date, it's for the pictures, so that she can hold it. So I do things with the pictures. I do physically print out pictures.
Okay, awesome. And I do want to acknowledge Tarika. She's been commenting as well. Tarika said, Kim is my favorite. Noise. And shout out to you as well. Look, you and I spoke earlier today. I won't divulge what we talked about here on the live stream, but I really hope you paid attention to what was said. But I do appreciate you calling and asking that question. You know, I'll always make time for you. So hit me up anytime. Now, today's subject. This live stream was titled Too Good, Too Bad. And it stemmed from a photo that you sent me. And this was on the Real Mike Media's Facebook page. That's Mike Epps. It says Neo and Nick Cannon says that they changed after discovering women don't like good guys. And it was further claimed that say that both Nick Cannon and Neo claimed that being a bad boy worked better for them because women don't like good guys. And this was posted about a few days ago. And I like that Meta AI does a summary of the comments. And one of the summary says, some commenters agree with both of them and claim that women often don't appreciate good men, while others disagree, saying that good men and women do exist and that it's about finding the right person. One commenter noted that some women may not recognize a good man due to past experiences with disrespectful men, and I want to start this off.
All right, let's go for it.
My entire life, I would have considered myself a good guy, and I didn't think that there was anything wrong with that. I was raised to be respectful to women. I was raised to be respectful to others, really, in general. But what I noticed in high school is that it seemed like the guys that just didn't care about women that I knew were doing women dirty, that were kissing other girls behind their main girls' back and stuff like that, and claiming to be the man and all this and that. They seem to be the ones that were getting women. Notice I didn't say quality women.
But just women in general.
Just women in general. And when you're seeing that as a teenager, depending on your morals and values, I did kind of feel left out. I never tried being them, though, because it really wasn't in me. If you're new to my channel, I was married for 14 years. I got married at 20, divorced at 34. I'm 40 now. Almost said 39.
You're 40, sir.
I'm 40 now, as I just turned 40 a couple of weeks ago. And one of the things that I did do was I said, you know what? I'm older. I was hurt. It seemed like women weren't responding to me being me. So I created a persona that was a bit of the bad boy image. And I got women. I got
what?
It responded. Women responded to that in a way that I wasn't used to. However, those same women are the biggest red flags that one could ever imagine. And there's a reason why I'm not friends of them. Because prior to meeting you, I had gone out on dates that romantically it didn't work out. Mm-hmm. But this was after I had changed some things about myself, after I decided to be more me than this persona, and came to folks as myself, still working on some things. I'm still friends with some of them, right? Mm-hmm. But the ones that I was the bad boy to, oh no, those ended bad, either because of me or because they were just bad-ish crazy. So that's my experience.
Crash and burn, essentially, is what you're saying.
Yes, okay. 100%. I think that if you are somebody that gets with a quintessential bad boy, and I wrote down some pros and cons. We'll get into that later on, but one of the cons is they all tend to crash and burn, more likely than not.
I would 100% agree with you, kind sir. So I would say when I was younger, I wanted that bad boy. I did not know how to handle a good guy. Okay. I gravitated, first of all, I gravitated towards Ayo light skin. So that light skinned guy who had hair, because I loved hair. I wanted that light skinned guy with hair. And there was this one guy, I'm gonna call him a boy because at the time, we were teenagers. I met him in high school. And I was heavier in high school. And he was definitely that type of guy who loved himself a plush woman, loved more cushion for the pushing behind doors, but in public went for the skinny mini, beauty type or whatever. So that's bad boy flag number one, okay? He only wanted to be with larger women in private. In public, he went with a certain type. Which is fine if you have your preference, not knocking that at all.
Yeah.
But that was his thing, skinny in public, bigger behind scenes. So I was messing around with him, and I always gravitated towards these guys who meant me no good. The one good guy that I dated him freshman year, and I don't know. He was in the band, and my rationale with the band is the same thing that has been when I dated drummers. They know how to keep the beat. So I always wanted to be with them. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So I always wanted to be with them. And he was good. He was nice. He was kind of me. We were 14. He was nice and he was kind. And to this day, he is the one guy in my entire life, almost 38 years of living. He's the one guy that I ever cheated on. Because I kissed another guy. Mm-hmm. And I was 14, but that still stands out in my mind. That was 24 years ago, and that still stands out in my mind as a horrible thing that I did to another person.
So he knew about it?
I told him.
Okay.
I told him.
And did you create a monster?
I don't say I created a monster, but he's also married to a white woman now, so I probably did.
That was his genesis.
I ain't messing with these black women no more because she done did this. And I'm sorry. But no, he's happily married to this woman. Actually, I wouldn't necessarily say she's white. I think she's Swedish. He's happily married, kids, everything, living the dream. He's over there living his best life. Michelle, who? Okay.
Good deal. Man, okay. Do you remember one of the things you asked me at Ellie's house when we were, or not asked me, I forgot if it was a question that came from the game, but you said something like, I bet you were a rebel rouser or something kind of like that.
Probably.
When I was in high school.
Yeah.
And I had to make a choice. Now, at this moment, pause.
I
had done a lot of work on myself. Mm-hmm. And I am a believer of what I now go by from the Real Precious being hot. Mm-hmm. Honest, open, and transparent.
Yes.
So when we met, we came together. It was a game night, but in hindsight, the game night was designed to set us up.
It was.
And when she had asked me that, I could have gone with a total lie and been like, yep, Especially after y'all read about my second grade report card. If you follow me on my social media,
I told you whoever wrote the beginning part of that statement, she was paid off to write it.
But I told her no, and initially my thoughts were, if this is what she likes, or if that is what she likes, then, and I'm not for her, then it is what it is. But the past me might have felt like, oh man, like am I gonna say the right thing? Am I gonna say the wrong thing? And if she don't respond to the right thing, then I might have blown it. That was past me. Mm-hmm. New me's like, be myself. It is so much freer to be yourself. And if they don't respond to you being yourself and you being honest, then that person's just not for you. So I said, I was like, no, I was a straight A, well liked by the teachers, nerd.
Were you well liked by the teachers? Now we gotta ask questions. Now we gotta ask questions. That little second grade revelation, like, so I don't know.
On my TikTok, one of my second grade teachers wrote that I was socially immature for a second grader.
Very strong academically, but socially immature for a second.
And I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, who would say that about me? Like, if you ask people about me, I am a gentleman. I was always a guy my issue was that I talked back. But I talked back when I felt as though something was wrong. So if I saw somebody saying something wrong or doing something wrong, and I could prove it, then I would say something. I didn't hold my tongue. I didn't care if you were the principal. If there was something that was in the handbook and you went against the handbook, I'm pointing it out. Well, I was bad about that.
You are a Southerner, and you did that in the second grade. So that's why she said that you were socially immature for a second grade. Because in the South, you're just supposed to, like, these are the rules. You are supposed to oblige. So that's why she said that about you.
Probably.
Little rebel rouser.
Now, when you did ask me that, I made a decision. I made a decision to just tell the truth.
Okay.
And I wouldn't have done it any other way. And the one thing that I would tell people out there is that if you're presented with somebody and somebody, I bet you was a rebel rouser.
First of all, like, we're the only two people on the face of the world using a rebel rouser.
What's the more?
I don't know, like, troublemaker.
Come on, yeah, troublemaker.
I don't know.
I think troublemaker is what you said.
I probably just say rebel rouser.
Okay,
like, let's be honest. I talk like a 90-year-old woman sometimes.
If there's somebody that's closer to Gen Z, like what's the equivalent? Let us know, because now I'm curious. I feel old. Aww. I'm getting more grays. I am excited about that.
It is.
Let's see. Tarika said, you shouldn't have to change yourself to be with someone. 100%.
Nope.
I don't think you'll find any healing person. I don't think you're ever truly just healed.
Look at you using words from my website.
Hey.
Hey.
Tarika also said, I was never into the bad boys. Why not?
I'm telling you, when I was younger, they were so much cuter. Like,
Please. Oh, I wish I could zoom into you. We got to get more cameras.
Stop. So to start, I went to a magnet high school, right? So in order to get into my high school, you had to have scored a certain score on the middle school assessment. You had to have a certain high level score. Academically, you had to have a certain GPA. You had to apply, and then, like, there was still the probability that you could get denied. So the high school that I went to wasn't just the high school that you went to because it was the closest high school to you. It was a magnet school. I went to that high school, so I'm surrounded by smart young men. Like, my school didn't let in dumb people. People failed out. Like, my freshman class was 500 people. By the time we graduated as seniors, we had a little over 200. Natural selection when it came to academics.
Yeah, there was a standard that needed to be met, and people didn't meet it.
You failed 3 classes and you got put out. So that was just it. So I'm surrounded by smart people the whole time. But then there were those guys who they smoked weed every day, and that's how they stayed smart. Like, there was this one guy who was high every single day. I'm not going to call his name out because he is actually on social media and he's married with a family. But bro, man, stayed smoking every single day. He lived up to the definition of how high: smoke high, study high, take the test high, get high grades. Like, that's how he was. And there were so many, and he was light skinned. There were so many of them, just light skinned young men with hair who were intelligent. And they did everything. They smoked together, they drank. And, that was back during my rebellious phase where I would have a little drink here or there. My mom said I couldn't have people over ever. So, of course, I snuck them in. Like, I did all the little rebellious stuff. So naturally, I'm gravitating towards that guy who's going to do all the rebellious stuff too. Now, to be fair, I didn't do anything rebellious because of guys. I was just a rebellious person. So I didn't want to be with someone who was like a goody two shoes and was going to do everything that they were supposed to do the way that they were supposed to do it. No, I was the wear a smile, pretend like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, and then go out and live my best life.
But why?
Because I grew up in a strict Jamaican household.
Structure is important.
Okay, Mr. Air Force man, but I was not. Like, my mom, I felt like my mom was unduly strict. Like, she did not need to be that strict in my mind. That's what I thought. She wouldn't let me go anywhere. She wouldn't let me do anything if my best friend wasn't there. And I thought at the age of 14, 15, 16, and 17 that my mom was being unfair. I couldn't join any after school clubs. Like, you would ask me all the time, was I in any clubs? Did I play any sports? No, my mom wouldn't let me because my mom said that if school let out at 3:15, then I needed to be on the bus and I needed to be home by 4:00 every day. That's what my mother said. Like, there was no after school anything. There were no clubs. There were no social activities, nothing. She wouldn't let me do anything. So when I finally got access to a car senior year, of course I'm going to whip that bad boy all over Baltimore City and go wherever I don't need to be going.
Here's something that you started talking, it made me think about.
What?
I think that there is a correlation between the young women that like bad boys and strict parents.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Not to say that those that didn't have strict parents, kids, didn't like bad boys, but it would seem that those that did have strict parents really looked and gravitated towards those young men that were rebel rousers. I like that word.
They were fun. Like, and it's not so much that I think for me, it wasn't so much them. It's that my mom wasn't going to approve of any guy that I brought home at that age. My mom said all the time, you need to be studying. You don't have time for boys. My mom said this all the way up and through me getting my first master's, that I didn't need to be around boys. Like, I just need to be studying. I need to be doing this or that. And again, my first master's, I got, 5 years ago, 5 some odd years ago or something like that. I don't know. Math ain't mathin'. But she said that up until that time that I didn't need to be like worried about guys. I needed to be focusing on school. So in high school, that's all she kept saying. So naturally, of course, I'm a young lady. I'm taking swimming classes, and that's where it really kicks, because in high school, I took swim classes, which means I have to parade around in a bathing suit. And my tatas are just like all out there for the boys to see. And they noticed them because they were big. And I just wanted the attention. And the good guys took too long to come my way.
Did they though?
They did.
No.
I friend zoned them. I friend zoned
So they did come around, but you friend zoned them
because they took too long.
Oh, come on! No, I'm not buying it.
No, because the bad boy will come up and be like, "I like you," like, "I like you," like, and eyes right here, like, "I think you're really cool. I want to get to know you a little bit more. What you doing later?" Whereas the good guy would come up and be like, "So what did you get on the test?" And I'm like, I don't know. So anyway, what you saying? And like, divert my attention back to the bad boy who's giving me, like, he's being very clear and very obvious about what he wants, versus the good guy who's just like, "So what did you get on that math test?" "I don't know, but let's study together." Like I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. The bad boys, they were more direct. You never had to wonder if a bad boy likes you or not. And I think that was something that stood out to me back then.
Change that statement a little bit. You never had to wonder if a bad boy wanted to get with you.
Yeah, okay, there you go. You never had to wonder if a bad boy wanted to get with you. Now, I will say that was 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old Michelle. And maybe some of 20s Michelle. But at 37, almost 38 years old, oh no, that I could not. I don't have the same mentality. Like when I was a child, I thought as a child, I spoke as a child. But when I became a woman, I put away childish things. That's not where I am right now with my thought pattern. But back then, it made so much sense to me.
Okay, I want to acknowledge some of these comments and then I want to come back to that. So Tarika over on YouTube said, King, I guess it's because I had my father that I was never into bad boys or hood guys. Tarika, I'm curious, what were the demographics of people that were around you? Did you have more nerds around you? What type of school did you go to? Because I think that where you're at matters, right?
Oh, makes a big difference. So, like if I had gone to the high school that I was zoned for, so the high school that I was zoned for at the time, it was called Northern. Now it's something. I think Reginald F. Lewis High School. If I had gone there instead of Baltimore Polytechnic Institute, I promise you on everything, I'd be a mother by now. Like I would be a mother. Didn't say I'd be married, but I promise you I'd be a mother.
No doubt. Tarika also follows that up with Queen. My father was very strict, but I was never a rebellious child. Reading with King. My bad, y'all. I don't know why. Okay. All right. Let's see, we got the Harris tribe up in the building.
Hey.
Promote conscious parenting with the Harrises. Go follow their channel. They said, good evening, everyone. Salute to the beautiful couple and chat. Appreciate y'all tuning in. I know y'all are busy content creators as well. And I hope that the event that went on today was a success. I believe it was today.
I think I saw like clothing drive or something like that.
Yeah, like a back to school type drive.
Nice.
It's either today or tomorrow, but
I think
working.
I saw it. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Good deal. Good deal. I appreciate y'all popping in. So let's go back.
Okay.
All right. You went through your young teenage years.
Yeah.
Liking the bad boy.
Mm-hmm.
You were more attracted to that. They stood out to you more.
Mm-hmm.
You glossed over your 20s, like your young 20s.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, I noticed that.
Oh, did I? My bad.
It were those elements still there?
Oh, yeah. I want to say my pursuit of the bad boy existed until I was probably about 26, 27.
Okay.
And what specifically happened there is, and I don't know if I'm sure I have told you this. My mom had me when she was 32 years old, and I'm her last child. I'm my mom's last child. I'm my dad's last child. My mom had me when she was 32. My dad is 6 years older, so he had me when he was 38. So in my mind, I was supposed to be married and have had all of my children by 32.
Mm-hmm. And if you got with that good guy young, you'd be there.
So when I was 24-ish, and I don't know why it happened when I was 24, I was like, I'm supposed to be married by 25 so that I can start with that plan of having had all of my kids by 32. So it really started to hit me around 25, like, hey, wait a minute, I'm 25. I ain't got no boyfriend, much less a prospective father of my children. And with each year that passed, it was like, okay, you keep pursuing this same type of person or pursuing someone who has some of the external qualities and you think they don't have the internal qualities, but the reality is they do. And you keep getting the same result. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So I had to step away. And that was around like 27-ish. That I was like, I can't do this anymore because I want different results. So I have to do something differently.
You might not be able to answer this, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
What up?
Can you think of any good guys that you might have rejected that you may know about their lifestyle now? Not saying that you go back and be like, I wish I would have, but do you know of any that you rejected that do have that kind of life now?
Yes and no. Well, yes, flat out yes. There's this one guy that he will always be in my heart. And it's because he was a good guy, and I think he was trying to pursue me. He was on the football team, so first of all, that was one of my big things. Like,
Oh yeah,
red flag. I pursued them football.
Oh yeah,
boys.
because I think I told you I played football as well, and I was good at it.
Yeah.
And that's when you was like, oh, I bet you was a.
I was never one of those, let me pursue the quarterbacks. No. I went after like safe, never quarterback, never running back. I would go after safety.
I was a running back.
No offense. Like, they were too skinny. I like the bulkier guys. Yeah. So I would go after the corners. I would go after fullbacks. I would go after all of those who held it down.
I mean, I was a fullback running back. Like, I was a muscular guy that played fullback and running back. So I had the strength and a little bit of speed.
Okay.
So yeah, I was stocky. I think I would have fit your type. Like, I was stocky, muscular.
So this one guy, and I will say his name because it's not that bad. His name is Jonathan Ocon. Everyone called him Jonathan. Everyone called him Oak. Well, so here's the thing, right? He was a good guy, and I think he was interested in me. But again, I had blinders on. I couldn't notice when the good guy was interested in me. I remember he went down to, I think, North Carolina for school and then came back. And then I think he ended up moving and living in North Carolina. Well, I will always remember him because his birthday was September 1st. So mine is September 3rd, his September 1st. And he passed away tragically in his sleep. And I remember when his younger brother had posted on social media, it hit me hard, like a ton of bricks. Because, and maybe I think I was around 27 at that. I think that's right around the time when it happened. It hit me like a ton of bricks because he was that good guy that I should have given a chance. And I never did because I never pursued the good guy. And it made me, it really hit me hard that, I had friend zoned him early on. And who knows what could have happened? Who knows what could have been if I hadn't friend zoned him? And it kind of just made me reevaluate a lot of things. So, yeah.
So that's a topic that also gets talked about a lot, the infamous friend zone. We haven't answered this in the years that radio hosts, podcasts, live streams. What is it about the friend zone? Like, okay, I'm a good guy, so I'm going to go from my perspective.
You are a good guy.
Let's say I like you. Not only do I want to sleep with you, I also want to be your friend. I think that that's possible. I think that it can exist. I think that you should be able to sleep with your friend that you are attracted to. I said that specific like that for a reason. You have something to say.
Yeah, and I'm not going to disagree with you, but what I will say, and I'm not speaking on behalf of every woman, I'm speaking on behalf of me alone. If you the guy desire both, like, I want to be your friend, but I also want to sleep with you. But if the vibes that you were giving that are most prominent are I want to be your friend, then for me, that's exactly where you will stay. So it's not that you want both. It's which one is more prominent, which one is showing up the most.
Okay.
If the friend thing is showing up the most, then forever that's where you shall be, because then I'm going to start telling you things. And if I start telling you things about me dating this other guy and going out with this other guy, in my mind, I friend zoned you because you didn't tell me that you were interested in me.
Okay. I think that's where the good guy gets it wrong then.
Yes.
Okay.
And again, I'm not speaking for every woman. I'm just saying that for me, historically, what I have seen is the guy, even if he is thinking both, he presents the friend aspect first. And that's what I run with.
That makes sense.
With what you present first.
That makes sense, because don't get it twisted. Like, yes, I want to sleep with you. I think you are attractive. I desire you. However, and there are some people that believe that men and women can't really truly be friends. I don't think that there's exceptions to rules on that. In my opinion, I believe that you can have a burning desire for somebody and have a love and respect that is a friend and more. Like, I consider you a friend and more.
And I won't disagree with you. However, what I will say is from the moment I met you, I saw the and more and the friendship developed. Excuse me, I saw the and more 1st and we built a friendship.
Okay.
If it had only been the friendship first, it would have been something different. And I know that sounds really weird because we did have a friendship first, but I need you to understand that even in our friendship, the thing that presented itself first and more prominently was the and more. You presented the and more first and more, and that's how you didn't get friend zoned.
Okay. Hey, as you were speaking earlier, there was a comment that came in. Just be in the game. I think I messed it up. Just be in game, Jordan. My bad. Apologies. Okay. I got it. Figured it out. Said I definitely can relate to what you were saying. And as you were talking and we got a little bit more into it, I can agree as well. Tarika said, Queen, are you ready for school? Let's just answer that one now. Do it now.
All right, so here's the thing, right? I'm a teacher. If you don't know, I'm a high school business teacher. And I will say this. Seeing my students today was wonderful. Like, I missed my babies. I was able to go up. I saw 3 recent grads. I was able to give them hugs as they came with their younger siblings. And their younger siblings like have me as a teacher in some capacity. I got harassed by several of my students, and like I miss the joking. So I miss the relationship aspect of it. Like, I miss my kids. I do not, however, in any way, shape, or form, miss lesson planning and grading. And apparently those are 2 prominent aspects of my job that I have to do: lesson plan and grade. But no, I miss my kids, and that unfortunately overrules every other feeling. So am I ready to come back to school? Yes, because I miss my kids. Holla at me in 180 school days and I'll be like, look, them kids need to go home. They need to go back to their parents. But for right now, I miss my babies.
Good deal. Good deal. Now, I had a list of pros and cons, and I want to get into this list a little bit and see what we can come up here with. All right. So, one of the pros when it comes down to why good girls may be drawn to bad guys, and I want you to give me your take on this, but a pro is that attraction to the confidence and boldness.
Oh, right? Yes.
And the 2 points that I listed were like excitement and adventure, which you spoke directly to that, talking about how you were not sheltered, but your mom was very strict about school, home, right? Yeah. And you wanted to be a rebellious person, and it seemed like these bad boys were all about that rebellious life. Okay. And then bad boys tend to offer or have a challenging nature. And it says some people are attracted to the challenge of taming. Oh, actually, I might say this different. Some people are attracted to the challenge of taming a rebellious partner, believing that they could be the one to bring out their good side. Did you ever have a bad boy?
Oh, I got stories for both of those.
Oh, go into it. So
for the first one, I just want you to think, and maybe hopefully social media will agree with me. I have never met an insecure bad boy.
Never. They might be insecure.
They may be insecure, but they don't present as insecure. Yes. They present with the highest level of confidence. And for most of them, it's not arrogance. There may be, a few who it is arrogance, but for the most part, it's confidence. And I loved that. I loved the confidence that you would see with a bad boy. They're like, I know I'm the ish and there's like nothing you can do about it. You can accept it or not, but I'ma still be me. And I loved that, right? Like growing up, that was so attractive. And with the good guys, respectfully, because they knew their worth, they didn't outwardly show their worth. And that was something that I observed and even observe now, that if you have a good guy, and I say this respectfully, but even you did that. Like, you knew your worth, but you didn't outwardly pour out your worth because you're not that bad guy. Like, you didn't You came in then the way you come into every room now, tee and basketball shorts, right? Like that's you, very casual, very laid back. You do not in any way, shape, or form flaunt what you have. No way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. And that's something that a bad guy does. And it's not to say that you lack confidence, because that is not the case at all. But to say that you don't flaunt your confidence like a bad boy would, right? So that was the first part. And then the second one, every woman who is with every good girl who's with a bad boy is low-key trying to tame him.
Say it one more time.
Every good girl who's with a bad boy is low-key trying to tame him.
Why?
Because we think that we have the cure within us to be able to get him to come off of them bad boy ways. And it's funny because you'll never see a bad boy try to tame a bad girl try to tame a bad boy, right?
No.
But you will always see a good girl thinking that she can tame him. And then low-key, respectfully, there are some bad boys who get with a good girl because they kind of think that they at least make the good girl think that she has the possibility to change him, when in reality she doesn't. Like we've seen that in movies and stuff like that.
Have you seen it in real life? I have. Like I'm thinking about a specific couple that I know that fit that dynamic.
Maybe one or two, but they're like pulling on high school things. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
The jocks that were there then who are now like married, tied down with kids and everything like that.
Yep. Yeah. I've shared with you a story about a guy I knew from my early military days, that if you were to fast forward 20 years now and the guy's married with kids and all this and that, you'd be like, wait, that dude? I won't say his name. He's one of the homies. I won't say his name like that, but he had a wild past. And some of the stuff that him and I did cannot be repeated on Al Gore's internet.
If you want to say it, like I'm a member of a sorority, and there's a fraternity that is known for having a lot of bad guys. So if you look at any of those bad guys who are now married with kids, I think that they the definition of like reformation, and they done been changed. And it probably had a lot to do with the good woman who stood by their side and supported them and brought them out of it. I'm not saying that that's everyone, but I'm just saying if you ask some of them, then yeah, because my pastor is one of those people who has said that. He says it plainly and boldly from the pulpit. He used to be a rascal. That's literally what he says. He says, I was a rascal. Like he says it all the time. So.
Nice. Okay. I got a couple of cons here. One of the first ones that I'm going to list is emotional turmoil and unhealthy dynamics. The 2 points that go with that. First, instability and drama.
Of course.
Relationships with bad boys often lead to emotional instability and drama, which can be draining over time. What starts off as excitement tends to evolve into more constant conflict and stress.
I will say that I experienced some of that. I'm thinking of two people in particular. The last two from like 25 to 27 that I mess with. I would definitely say that. No, maybe like the last three. Up until, what was it? Like March of 2014. I would say that there were three guys that I had dealt with that definitely wholehearted bad boys, right? And then it was always something with them. Like it was just always something. And I couldn't understand it. But yeah, I would say that was for me.
Okay. The other one, and this is a big one, lack of trust and respect. Bad guys often engage in disrespectful or dishonest behavior that over time, if noticed, will erode trust in the relationship. And that can be damaging to your emotional well-being as a woman.
So 2 out of those 3 that I just mentioned, I know one of them definitely cheated on me. Like we weren't in a relationship, but we had a situationship, and he definitely did like go and he was with someone else. The reason I know is because they have, I think, 2 or 3 kids together now. And one of them was conceived during the time that he and I were together. And another one is funny because like right before we came on the live, I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw a little thing pop up. His little story popped up with his now child. I'm not going to say gender, but his child that's in the picture. And I'm just like, yeah, he was a little bad boy. And, you know, I like that. I gravitated towards it. But it was so mentally unstable. Like that just was not, it was not healthy at all.
I'm going to take the time to jump in right here. My only daughter is 17. She just turned 17. And one of the things, and I've said her name, but one of the things that I was worried about is what type of person she would gravitate and go towards. My estimation of my daughter is that she's a nerd, plain and simple. I don't know really what nerd girls like. I wasn't really the one that talked to nerd girls. I was more of the type that who likes me? And
you know who don't talk to nerds?
Who?
Bad boys.
Wait, no.
What bad boy you know that talked to a nerd?
No.
And she remained a nerd. Like her cherry wasn't popped and she wasn't nerding no more.
Well,
I can't.
Okay.
It hurts to laugh.
I was attracted though to like one of my high school relationships was somebody that was the salutatorian, the third highest GPA.
They ain't got no name.
I thought it was always made up. Don't get me wrong.
No, salutatorian is second. That's what I'm saying.
Historian. There is something for the third one.
I don't know what it
is. But I'm like, whoever remembers who the third person was.
Don't care.
Anyway, and that was one of the first people at the school that I transferred to. And a couple of my other relationships were people that, you know, to me was smart and attractive. You know one of them.
Oh, she is super kind.
Yeah, and kind and smart, you know? So, like, even though I was a jock, I was never like the straight up jock. I was like the nerd jock. I was the guy that happened to have a little bit of athleticism to start and be able to make the team. As a matter of fact, right behind you, know how I found some of the documents and things? Yeah. I have my most athletic award for my class that's sitting in there for Who's Who, I believe.
Well, okay, so let me rephrase that then. The smart nerdy girl, who is nerdy in the sense that like she studies and she does all of those things, she can get a bad boy to like find her attractive. The Comic-Con nerdy girl will struggle with getting the bad boy to like her.
Which, let me tell y'all about Comic-Con girls, them nerd girls. Them's the freaks.
But no one will ever know, but because people you can't don't know that. Yeah, yes. You can't get past the whole Comic-Con. I'm into what's that manga and like all of that. No, like guys can't get past that.
Yep, they're like, wait, I can't talk about, you know, some
Dungeons and
thing
Dragons
that's never been heard of. Yeah,
no,
and no, but
they don't pull the bad boys.
Yeah, they don't pull the bad boys yet. I think that could be a good pairing. But the problem is that the bad boy wouldn't be interested in really what they have going on too much.
And would literally just be pursuing for one thing.
Yep. And the nerd person, like, they like it when you know nerdy things or whatnot. That turns them on.
Oh my God.
Huh. Okay. I have another pro here that I want to get into and one more con.
What's that?
And we could quickly talk about this, but a pro, it says that there's a perception of strength and protection around a bad boy because bad boys are seen to be strong, protective, and able to handle themselves in tough situations. And yeah, women overwhelmingly say that they want to feel protected.
Yes.
And it doesn't necessarily matter whether you're 5'4" and 120 pounds. It matters to an extent, anyway. Or if you're 6'5", you have to have a level of protectiveness about you, because that 5'4" dude could be the guy that knows how to handle himself during pressure situations that a 6'3" guy may be scared and run away from. So it's not necessarily the size. There is some women evolutionary things that size does matter. I watched a video of Philippine women that they're typically shorter than the average US woman. Uh-huh. And they were around 5'1", 5'2", and most of them said, surprisingly, as long as the man was taller than them, they were okay. So you didn't have to be 6 feet, which seems to be the American standard. A majority said, yeah, I could do 5'5" and taller. Some said 5'5", but shorter than 6 foot, because they didn't want overly tall, right? And really, when you think about that too, it's also why, like, you see a lot of Filipina people. You know what I'm trying to say? People from the Philippines. You see a lot of people from the Philippines that are not that tall because they prefer to be within the range that's closer to their height. But 100% of those that did say that while I am okay with just a little bit taller than me, he has to be taller than me. He can't be shorter than me because I want to feel protected. And that was their reason for it. They equated height to feeling protected. And I'm like, but that don't necessarily mean that that person knows what to do in pressure situations.
So now's not a good time to tell you I operated under the same mentality.
I'm not surprised.
I'm 5'9". So for me, number one, that's kind of why I gravitated towards stockier people. It did kind of make me feel a little bit more safe and secure. I will also say I have an excuse. You know, my childhood, I needed to feel a sense of protection from my man, like that my man can protect me. I have since realized in adulthood that it's not about the height. It literally is, but what can your hands do?
Yeah.
Like, that's where it matters for me. So,
yeah. Yep. Look, Michelle's taller than me by an inch. She's 5'9", like I'm 5'8", right? And I've had some of my homeboys was like, hey man, it don't bother you that she taller than you? I'm like, no, I've dated taller than her. Like, to me, height was never a thing. And the one lady she was like 6'2". She played a forward in college. I found that out later. You know, her thing was she actually, this is bad. So she said that she preferred shorter guys. She actually did not want to date men that were as tall or taller than her. I never asked because I didn't care. Now I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, like I want to know why. Like that's intriguing.
So her and I don't chat, but I like to reach out to her because I still got a number. Be like, hey, so remember when you said that you preferred dudes shorter than you? Why? I never asked because I didn't care, because I thought she was smoking and she liked me. She actually pursued me. So, which was rare, because I'm literally like, who sent you? What is going on? Because I don't care what you look like. It is rare, in my opinion, and fellas, y'all can step in. It's rare that a guy gets pursued. You could be 8-pack, chiseled, whatever, yada, yada. And you might be used to that if you play to your physical features to attract people. You might be used to it. But the average person, they're not used to ladies just approaching them, pursuing them. Dare I say, and I don't mean this in a bad way, I don't mean this disrespectful if you watch our show, throw themselves at. This is one of the first ladies that threw herself at me.
Would you say I did that?
And she was 6'2". No.
Okay.
To me, you presented yourself, and then, as we've talked about on our show, made it known that you were interested, but you didn't like throw yourself. When I say this person threw themselves, they threw themselves on me. Literally got in my face and was like, you're mine.
I've done that before.
How'd that work out?
Obviously, I'm not with that person anymore.
So yeah, I got another con here, and if y'all have something to highlight, tap into it. Hey, we got the homie Prayer Production in the building. Says gonna watch the replay when I get home at a softball game tonight. Will definitely yeet that hoe. Hey, and when you do, you gotta make sure you be like yeet. Him and I are gonna link up here in a couple of weeks. I am looking forward to it. So
I'm not.
him and I are gonna link up, talk shop, and I'm pretty excited for what he has going on. His videography business is taking off. He's doing some traveling for work here as well.
I'm happy for him. I'm not happy you're going.
Hey, you should be happy that your man is going out here networking, bringing business and things.
Always. For like a day or two.
The last con that I'm going to highlight here, and then I'm going to ask you a specific question, and I want you to ask me a question. A misalignment of values. Typically, bad boys have bad values. All right. Good girls, do they value things like kindness, loyalty, and integrity? Stuff that I believe you value now?
Yes.
Okay.
I think good girls value that. And I would also say I think bad girls value that too. It looks different for them. So I think it's a matter of perception, how it looks for each individual person. So again, I'm not going to speak for every woman on the planet. I will say for me, the definition of kindness isn't always someone being chivalrous. So opening a door for me or something, that's not always kindness.
Okay.
For me, a definition of kindness is, how was your day? And caring, like genuinely caring about what my response is and that type of stuff. And I think that sometimes, that is what a woman is after. And sometimes the bad boy can do those things. He can give us those qualities, those responses that we want to hear to certain things.
Okay. The last one here is emotional damage. And by being around a bad boy, ladies are typically exposed to those bad behaviors that they exude, such as disrespect, dishonesty, and neglect. Mm-hmm. And that is what keeps the cycle of women that get older that are now trying to find a good man. And a lot of these good men are looking out there going, nope.
Well, I think part of our issue now is that many women like myself spent their teen and 20 years pursuing and chasing that bad boy and waited too long to realize that the bad boy was never going to turn good. Like you can't make a bad boy turn good. First of all, you can't change anyone, but I think a good girl is going to try hard for a really, really long time, and we just realized too late. And then we started focusing on our career and everything like that. And now we're older and we're just struggling to find that guy. And men are going to date younger because you are able to better mold a younger woman than you are an older woman. Like it's harder to get an older woman, someone in her 30s or older, 35 or older, to really be able to compromise and conform to the beliefs that you have. Whereas you can do that with a 20-something-year-old. So now older women, especially if we spend our youth trying to pursue that bad guy, we're struggling because we're struggling to find that good guy because that good guy is pursuing that 20-something-year-old woman.
Do you remember the song by DMX, those lyrics? Why do good girls like bad guys?
Yeah.
Here's the lyrics, and I'm going to have to bleep some of this out.
Yeah.
Why do good girls like bad guys, knowing that bad guys tell mad lies? Mm-hmm. And why do dog people want a honey with class? Sometimes you want more than a honey that has a backside. Mm-hmm. All right. And I'm thinking about that. That song was like late 90s, I want to say. And it's just interesting that even though decades have passed by, the sentiments of that song is still relevant to this day. R&B artists and people were talking about this stuff in the 70s and 80s.
Because it was so true then.
And here we are. Like it was long ago. You can almost still say recent. But yeah, you're right. It was true then, and it's still true now. Is it evolution? Is it in our DNA?
It's sex appeal. Like, again, that bad boy presents that front of desiring you. He'll do any and everything to like make you desire him. Whereas that good guy is not doing that. He's very low, laid back, low key, or the smiley, the laughable guy, but he's not pursuing you like that. If a good guy pursued a woman or gave off that same level of high sexual energy that a bad guy did, then women would go after them more often.
Here's how we're going to close the show.
All right, bet.
I'm going to offer some advice that I'm going to give to people out there that might be good guys. So my advice is going to be to the men, specifically men that might fall into the good guy category. And then I want you to offer some advice to the ladies, those ladies that more chase after the bad guys, to get them to give the good guy a shot. So here's my advice to the good guys. Something that you said actually made sense. And I want you to think about this. When Steve Urkel was spending all of his energy chasing Laura, who was somebody that Future would be like, she for the streets, he could have been literally Bill Gates. He could have been Zuckerberg. He could have been the one that took all of that energy instead of chasing Laura and built the next thing that would have made him a gazillionaire. But no, he spent all of that time eventually even changing himself to become Stefan just to try to get one woman. To the good guys, don't do that. Don't do that. But what Michelle did say today that stood out is that express your desire, because I think women want to feel desired.
Yes.
So express that. Express that on an equal playing field as that person that if you say, hey, I want to actually be with you for longer than just one night or one session or 3 good pumps, express that desire to let them know that you do desire that woman, and still be yourself. Be genuine, be honest, be open, be transparent. Shout out to the Real Precious. And do both of those things. Because if you do happen to land in the friend zone because you lead with that, and in my opinion, there is nothing wrong with leading with it. Just understand actions have consequences.
Yep.
And if you lead with more of the friendship thing and not showcasing or showing that you also have a desire for that person, then in the end, it's just not going to work out for you. I can tell you that I told Michelle early on that I wasn't looking for a relationship, specifically a relationship. And I also knew that you weren't looking for anybody that was just coming along just for one thing. You expressed that. You made it real clear. You could read it. And we also had talked about it as well. Yeah, attraction is attraction. And she didn't just stay because it was a one-sided attraction. The attraction was there. And if you ask her, she was probably waiting on me to actually realize it. Okay, whatever. I'll give you that. So to the good guys out there, don't chase. Be yourself. Showcase that desire early. Don't suppress it. Don't hide it because you think that it's the respectful thing to do. No. Make her feel wanted. So that's my advice to the good guys.
And to the good girls, I say this. Ladies, very respectfully, if you spend too long chasing after that bad boy, you are going to lose all sight and vision of what a good guy truly is. And you are going to have all of these good guys passing you by. I still, and regret is a strong word that I don't use often, but there are still parts of me that are like, I probably, God does all things well, But who knows what could have been if I'd given that guy a chance in high school. And when he passed away, all I could think was, I messed up. Like, I realized that I always ignored guys who didn't show me that quick attention. Quick attention is just like pouring down rain in the midst of a thunderstorm. The harder it comes down, the shorter it's going to be there. So you need to be with someone who truly, truly wants to be with you, and understand he may present it more subtly than, that big boisterous type of attention that you may get from the bad boy. But try to look at someone's heart. Look at the heart, get to the root of it, and don't just friend zone everyone that comes your way. Because some of them men who come your way are really, really good. They just don't know how to fully express how they're feeling in the moment. Don't give up on the good guy. Don't friend zone them. Try it. Pursue it. You may find happiness there.
No doubt. All right. Next week, we have a topic. Right before the show, we gave an idea or talked about what we like to get into next week. It is also the last Monday. Do you think we could do both, where we have the call-in show and talk about the topic that we had?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll do that. So for the people watching live or catching this on the replay, next Monday is going to be a call-in show. So we want to hear from y'all's input and things. Come on the camera, don't come on the camera, that's fine. We just have to know that you are a real person and not somebody trying to troll. But we're going to have the call-in show next week, so be sure to come back and tap in for that. Did we miss anything today?
Nope.
I think we're good. To our Twitch follower, glad you're back, Nat. I appreciate you pulling up. If you hadn't hit the like button yet on whatever platform that you're watching this on, be sure to hit that like button and come back next week. In the link in the description on most of our platforms are our other social medias as well. We're on Instagram and we're on TikTok. We're just not live there. So tap in, follow us on Instagram and TikTok as well. And we close out our show with the kiss in every episode. Sometimes I go to Michelle. Sometimes she comes to me. This time, Michelle's going to have to come to me because while we are live, I'm business up top, party down below. I ain't got no pants on right now.
Y'all.
So we're going to end this live stream. I'm going to get my kiss and we're going to be out. Bye, y'all.
Bye.